Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Down and Free podcast. I'm of course yet again joined by my co-hosts Ben and Finn, and today we're going to be talking about some conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, man.
As I'm saying my conspiracy theory first, I'll introduce my drink first. I actually went with a cider, pineapple cider, from Rattler.
Cornish.
Never had it before. It's quite nice. Go on, Finn. What have you got?
I'm letting the side down say that. I'm not going to lie. I'm on the Coca-Cola from Lidl because I am not drinking any alcohol this week.
Oh right, okay.
But
Yeah,
I'll tell you what,
I
it's like
thinking-
crack, mate. It's like crack.
I imagine we
I thought it
keep
was
doing
gonna
this
do that.
podcast and we do it every week and we have 3 beers a week. You know, what's our liver going to look like?
That's fine. But it's like mine's just because of
Your
my
doctor would
voice.
say otherwise.
Yes,
No, 3 beers. That's only 6 units, so that's fine.
that's not a lot of drink, is it?
No, the
I
only
think you're
reason
supposed to have like
14.
I don't know.
It's
But
14. But
is
the
it?
reason,
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
okay.
That's 14 a week, but the reason I'm not drinking is because it makes my voice decrease. So I need to be tip-top performance for Friday, Benjamin. It needs to be fucking up there,
Okay.
mate. Don't you worry about that.
All right. No,
Yeah.
I don't. Don't see anything wrong with it. Go on, then. Ash, what are you drinking?
I've got Moretti again for the 3rd week running,
Switching up, mate.
or
Well
2nd
done.
week running, I guess.
Well done.
Okay.
Nice. Okay,
What's
this is my conspiracy theory, if I can even say the word. Oil bosses and companies are funding Just Stop Oil so that the general public hate them and their arguments. So, you know, obviously, Just Stop Oil, like, sticking themselves to the road, painting, like, Heathrow Airport and offices and whatnot, jumping on top of trains.
Topical.
Yeah, basically, the theory is that they are being funded by oil companies themselves so that people hate like Just Stop Oil and Extinction Rebellion and other organisations like that. And there is actually some evidence to back it up. So there's a lady called Aileen Getty, who is the daughter of like an oil dynasty. I think the company is Texaco or something like that. Yeah. So like a big oil family. And essentially she's donating to a Californian charity who are donating to Just Stop Oil and the Extinction Rebellion in the UK. And this is public information. They can see that. You know, that can be very easily seen. And yeah, that is why people think they might be being funded by oil companies themselves.
Well,
What
I think
do you
there's
guys reckon?
definitely a valid claim there for their motives.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
It does make sense, yeah.
How can oil's company go, let's actually stop people believing in this anti-oil argument. Let's do protests that piss everyone off.
And it's not as if they don't have the power to do that either.
They don't, but...
No, I'm saying
Have you got any-
I'm saying it's not as if they don't have the power. Like, they do have the power to do that.
Yeah,
They've got-
sorry, I meant to say they do, not they don't.
Yeah.
They do. What do you think, Ash?
I think, I do think that is a load of horse shit, to be honest with you, but I do like the idea of it.
So yeah, I will go...
It is possible.
I'll go on to say my opinion now. So, essentially, yeah, Eileen Getty is the daughter of a big oil family. As far as we can see, it's not the oil family itself or the company donating to these charities. It's her. So, what realistically she's doing is she just feels guilty of where family's wealth come from and is donating some of her money to charities that try and prevent the use of oil. Also, I think if the oil companies were to do it, so as you said, Finn, they do have the power to do that sort of thing, and there is a motive for them to do it, but I feel like they'd make it slightly less obvious.
Oh, well, hiding in plain
it's all-
sight.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument.
No, yeah,
for
but you
that.
wouldn't. If they were trying to do that secretly, why would they Why would it be public? They wouldn't make it public knowledge that one of them is
it's
donating
not
money.
like someone's done mega research and to find this out. It's very easily attainable knowledge.
Well, I guess it kind of has to be
You
anyway.
would think if the oil companies are doing it, they would find a way to hide it, or at least make it somewhat harder. So, yeah, pretty much, I don't believe that it's true. It is clear that she is donating the money to Just Stop Oil, but it's more probably out of guilt rather than trying to fund hatred towards the charities themselves, or the not charities but the protest groups. But yeah, what do you guys think of Just Stop Oil and their methods anyway?
Well, I think it's kind of like a whole view of the fact that the message they're giving is good. It's just the way they go about it is terrible. And they go with the argument that it's the shock factor, and if they didn't do it like that, you wouldn't listen to them, which could be argued to be true. Because you look at pacifists or people that passively protest, there's not a whole lot that
doesn't make the news.
It doesn't make the news. You've got to have the shock factor in order to actually make a difference, or at least that's their view of it. But then by doing so, I feel like you do turn most of the general public away from your agenda.
And has anyone seen that clip where they, I don't know what you call it, but basically stop an oil van or lorry?
Yeah.
But it's a cooking oil lorry, not a petrol oil or diesel lorry. So yeah, I think they obviously got the right idea behind it all, but
I also think you've got to be
there's better ways to do it.
You've got to be a very certain type of person to be as committed to the bit as a lot of the protesters are. Like, I personally would have so much, just awareness of my situation in terms of I'm being a nuisance to thousands of people potentially if I'm lined up on the M1. I just think I can't have that on my mind.
I get the point that they.
I think there's completely different
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I get the point they need to, as you said, Finn, do something that gets them the attention and get them, on the news and things. But I feel like who have they gained to their cause from what they've done? There are things you could still do to get on the news that don't necessarily piss everyone off. But yeah, go on, Ash.
That's what I mean. They have it depends what they're doing. Like when they're shutting down roads and you've literally got people in cars that are going to hospital or whatever, and you're literally somebody could be dying on the road and their traffic's not moving because you've got 6 pillocks in fucking orange clothes standing in the road. But then you've got stuff which I don't think is any better really. But then you remember the fella who chained himself to the goalpost in the Everton game.
Yeah.
That is annoying, and it's just it's pointless. But you're still getting that virality, and you're not actually having a serious impact on people's well-being.
Even with blocking the road, are you really stopping someone trying to get to the hospital? Probably not. Maybe, but it's just a massive nuisance.
Yeah,
to
didn't
everyone.
somebody had a seizure, didn't they?
Well, no,
and,
it's not to say it
died or became permanently paralysed.
Yeah, I mean it will be happening, but for the most part, it's just causing a nuisance, and it's just unnecessary. But yeah, I mean,
what about
I feel like they've stopped a little bit. I don't see much about them.
What about the vandalism side of it, in terms of throwing paint in or at buildings or on paintings?
Again, I mean, I watched a video of someone literally, as they were doing it, with a jet wash out, just washing it straight off.
That's what it's pointless. It's pointless activism at that point. I think it's you are literally just making a job for somebody else, and also making yourself look like
it's just going to be a poor employee of the company who has to clean that.
Yeah.
Are you really getting the attention of the CEO or the general public?
It's quite hypocritical as well, because they're always the whole point is oil is destroying the earth and destroying all these things, and then they go out of their way and destroy things to then get their point across. Obviously not in the same way, but
I think when they're doing it, they are targeting polluting things, either office buildings of these companies, or like I think they did Heathrow Airport as well.
I think they did a bank deal.
Yeah, but like an art exhibition, they get like if they're like like an old painting.
Oh, sorry, the Mona Lisa. They did it on the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, I have no idea what they thought. Yeah, what the logic behind that one was.
It's just a big thing, isn't it? Of course, that's going to get news coverage.
Mm.
It's the most famous painting of all time.
Yeah, I mean that one just seems kind of evil at that point. It's like, how are they going to get anyone to their cause?
Mm.
But then I think that's probably a good one, because obviously the Mona Lisa is going to have some sort of coverage over it, which isn't actually going to ruin the painting, and they'll know that as well. Obviously, going into it, so it wouldn't actually damage the painting.
Well, no,
but I'm not a lover of art, or
get that.
Yeah, I'm not a lover of art in any particular way, but that just still pisses me off in a way. Like, why destroy something?
I wonder how much planning goes into each kind of not event, but occurrence. Protest or occurrence. It's like, how many people do you think have to okay it before it gets carried out? Do you reckon you could have like literally just people that belong to things say, right, we're going to go do this today because we can, and we're going to attach our names to Just Stop Oil and just kind of act under their allegiance?
Did anyone see the is it Josh Peters?
Yeah, when he put the balloon.
Where he infiltrated.
Yeah,
I mean, what was a couple hundred people there?
Yeah,
to do that, and then also there was the two guys, or there was a couple people that were going to try and stop the M5, the M25, doing something. I don't know what they were going to do, but they were going to try and stop the M25, which would have literally interrupted tens of thousands of people probably.
Well, there was that one girl, wasn't there, that did...
And then they got arrested for it. So there's a lot of planning that goes into it. They got arrested before they even did it, because the police found out about them planning it.
There was that one girl that was on the stanchion, wasn't there? I can't remember what motorway it was, but the whole motorway got closed because she was in danger, because she was up there. I can't remember...
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really have a lot to go on from there, but it's...
I think they do plan these a lot, but it seems like surely...
But that's what I was going to say. That's
come up with better ideas.
That was only one girl that was on that stanchion, and it's just like, how many people...
Is she doing it herself?
Yeah.
Or...
How many people have to say okay to that? Because it's not like it's a small movement either.
What
got
has
a lot of members.
Just Stop... What's it done though? What's it actually achieved? Have they got like a website where they've got written down what have they funded money towards stopping oil? Have they actually made any impact?
I think they just get money to disrupt and do things. I mean, a lot of the people who do it are paid as well, I think.
We'd have to look at...
I think that's what their donations go to, doing more.
No,
there must
they
have
pay.
been...
They're not even like...
There must have been some legislation changes.
Some of them are definitely paid. Yeah,
but they'll, because
really make...
they have like micro meetings in Parliament, don't they? So I think there probably will have been a few legislation changes that they'll count as wins. I mean, they might be minor, but there's none that stick out. I don't know about YouTube, but there's none that stick out to me as being in the news as being related to something they've done, and it's been a direct change because of them. And
I would say, whether it's down to their bad choice of protests or what, there's definitely probably less of a green agenda now than there was 5 years ago.
But to be fair though, like you look 100%. At it, and you've got people like Greta Thunberg, and she made a massive difference just from speaking. Like she kind of just, I mean, she had a bit of a sympathy
did it just fizzle out?
She has done like protests as well.
Well, she was like protests.
Well,
but...
she didn't go to school, did she? For like.
But again, that's not inconvenience to anybody apart from her.
I swear she has done like Just Stop Oil. I think she might have actually done a Just Stop Oil protest. or something similar. I swear I've seen her like sat down or tied to something, being like hauled away by police. I might be wrong, but I feel like I have.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I think most people agree with the message. They're just going about it the wrong way.
Yeah, I think that's the general consensus, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, but I think we should hear another conspiracy theory now.
I'll go with mine. I'll be honest. I don't have as many facts lined up for you, Ben. It's more kind of just like a general concept.
Okay.
So, I mean, I do think about this.
Is this one you've come up with yourself then, or?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not necessarily an established one, but it also probably is. It's kind of one I feel like a lot of people would have a thought about. And it's basically the argument of, is there like a group of people? I guess it's similar to the Illuminati, but not quite. That is above like elitist powers that can basically control a lot, and you don't know who these people are. They just pull the strings behind the scenes, and they can make stuff happen like that.
Are you saying it's like a big club that
definitely
they're all a
could be.
part of?
Say that again?
Or are you saying it's like a big club they're all part of almost behind the scenes?
yeah,
or is
maybe-
it like individuals behind the scenes?
I think. Wait, obviously you've got people in power, known people in power who are just frontmen. Like you look at Trump or Keir Starmer. I don't really want to make it political, but they are just frontmen to bigger pictures, and it's kind of similar to that, but above them. Like there will be people that, will there? But maybe there are people that can just that are so powerful that they can change stuff like that. They can have so much influence, and you don't know who these people are.
So you've got people behind the people behind
Yeah.
Trump. Are the people behind Trump also the people behind
Well, yeah, like a
Putin
club,
or behind
like a club.
Starmer? They are.
So
in a
you
club,
think
so
that
they're
there's
almost
elites
working
upon
together.
elites upon elite?
Well, there could. I'm presenting the idea. I reckon it's definitely a possibility.
I think there is definitely people, but that we don't know of, that are behind the scenes and hold a lot more power than we could even imagine. But do I think it's some sort of club that are all that and they're all sort of working together to send the world in some sort of direction, however they choose? No. But there are people that definitely have power behind the scenes that, you just have to look at like Jeffrey Epstein. Like he had blackmail on so many people.
Yeah.
That's how he, he was basically the professional blackmailer.
Well,
and that's how he got his money. And that's how he stayed powerful and out of the eyes of the law for so long. There's definitely going to be people like that aren't maybe doing as evil stuff, but hold stuff on a lot of other
guess it
people.
kind of
I think
have a lot of power.
there will be people that are more evil than that have more information on people that we don't know about.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
They're even more elite.
I mean, it's definitely not on the same level. But look at people like Nardwar. How does he know everything he knows? Like
Nardwar?
That is true. Maybe not. Maybe Nardwar is a.
Who's not?
Do you not know
It's
who,
very
he's a famous interviewer.
Uncultured.
You would have
swine.
seen him. He wears like a clown outfit, but not quite. And he'll be doing interviews with people. He'll be doing interviews with people, and he'll just bring up something so obscure from their past that no one knows about.
Yeah.
But he just managed to find it. And there was what was it?
It'll be like a primary school
There was the
teacher,
guy
and it'll like
in-
bring up like a memory or something.
There was the guy in Slipknot, wasn't
Related.
there? There was a guy in Slipknot.
I have seen him before, but I don't know. I don't remember watching him, but I have seen it. I think.
Yes, there was a guy. I can't remember who the guy in Slipknot is, but Slipknot's identities were hidden for so long because they all used to wear masks. Well, they still do wear masks. And Nardwar basically interviewed him and brought up one of the guy's old bands from ages ago, but there was no way, nobody knew who these guys were. But Nardwar knew that one of them was this guy who used to be in this band, and that caused a whole massive thing. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's not got elitist power.
Though, that...
Oh, it's a character.
Is it?
He's a character.
And are they telling him possibly? I mean, obviously he's giving an example, right? Okay.
This guy,
I don't know how. I mean, it is a character, but like, have you seen? Even if you look at the old, have you seen the old footage of him standing up at like university?
Oh no, yeah. Like, he is the guy.
Asking, was it a president?
No, but he is him. It's just like it's the same as like YouTubers. They're just a more exaggerated version of themselves.
It's an exaggerated version,
yeah. But I guess it's going back to the point. Like people like him, how does he get? Like, imagine like if that's what a known person can do, just get information like that. Obviously, he's really good at research. He's a very good journalist, or digging. But kind of that level, but 10 times. People that are just so far beyond civilization that they can just
think about like have you seen that hacker guy that can like, I don't know how to explain him, I don't know what his name is either, but he's been on like podcasts and that, and he can literally get like, he shows you like all of these little ways he can basically access any piece of information like via your digital footprint.
Yeah.
Like your entire history, everything you've ever done, everything you've ever downloaded, looked at, everything.
It's scary, isn't it? Because the fact that information is so readily available, but I also think a lot of people scaremonger it in the fact that realistically no one's going to be looking at your... What the odds of someone actually looking at your personal data is extremely low. But some people get so...
Is it though?
Well, no, but who's got the time? But that's the thing. Maybe these people do have the time because they've got nothing else to do apart from just hoard the power in. But...
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I do definitely think there's a fair bit of truth to it. But then at the end of the day, how are you going to change it? They're so powerful. What can you do?
Yeah, and if you don't know that it exists, if there's not proven that these people actually exist, you can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think there are certain people like this, where they have a lot more power and they are completely unknown and probably control more than we think. But I don't think there's some big network, like underground network or whatever it is, of them communicating and working together.
Look at like the Murdoch dynasty. Like that man owns so much of the media. I mean, it's shrunk recently in the last 10, 15 years, but he used to own so much of the news companies in most countries, and it was like both sides, left and right political branches. He just owned it. Like he still owns Sky and he still owns like the Daily Mail and stuff, Daily Mirror.
But you have to look. It's like
the Times, I think it is actually. But yeah,
and you can sort of see that happening publicly with like, you've got Zuckerberg who owns all of Meta, so Facebook, Instagram, and then he also owns the New York Times.
Well,
you got
Elon Musk is trying to buy TikTok, isn't he?
Twitter.
He's trying to buy TikTok.
Yeah, he might be, but he owns Twitter. I think Elon Musk has his own. Maybe
there's also rumours.
But he owns all those companies. There's also now he's involved in the government.
There's rumours
Have you seen all the stuff about him being like basically the shadow president of the United States?
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like if
basically he's pulling the strings of Donald Trump.
Yeah, but if there's a wide network of more powerful people, why is Elon Musk not trying to become one of these?
Well, because maybe...
So I just feel like
he might not be...
We're talking about...
They might have information over him.
We're talking about power basically corrupting here. Surely you want to be...
He also might be like...
eye.
There might be trillion.
Yeah. Elon Musk is too...
I don't know. There might be a level of money and like power that you wouldn't benefit from being publicly known.
Do you not think it's traceable at some point?
Well, no, of course it is, but they're the ones that control that, so...
But then I suppose people...
Not necessarily.
To counter my own point, is people think Putin's the richest man in the world because his money is held through other people, and those people... Putin has something on those people, and that's how they are willing to keep looking after his money, essentially. So, yeah, there could be people like that.
The also thing is that with Putin, like, he is overtly just, like... The guy, what was his name? Like, the guy that got blown up in the airplane, who, just had nothing to do with the Russians. It was just a coincidence, even though he'd been fronting the resistance to the Kremlin for...
Yeah, but that's a little bit different. That's just Russia trying to say that they didn't do something when they did.
No, but as in, if you look at how powerful that is, like, he has obviously killed the guy, no repercussions.
Yeah, but... I mean, yeah, how can they add repercussions on Putin that they haven't already at the current point?
Well, that's the thing. It's like we'll have to wait for.
Yeah, I don't think there is a wide network, and you have to look. It's like Epstein comes out now. We've got P Diddy come out, and there's so many celebrities associated with that. You've got. You look what Kanye West tweets out.
Yeah.
Like, I just have a feeling surely there'd be someone...
Watching that spiel out, like, over the past few days has been crazy.
Yeah, but like, what? I just believe there'd be someone who would want the fame of coming out and properly exposing this.
Well, no,
And this is so. But then you could say, yeah, it's so deep that they've got something on them. But it's what else can you have on someone? Like other than the stuff we've already.
There's a lot of bad things you can threaten. Like, there's no point naming them, but there's a lot.
Yeah, but like, I think the stuff that P Diddy has done, he's supposedly had stuff on other people, and what they've done. It's like, surely these people have seen what P Diddy's done, and surely got something on him as well. Is at what point does then? How would you?
No,
keep,
well, people knew. People have been calling out P Diddy for years.
Yeah, I know they have.
Like,
but you missed my part. My point. My point is like, if there was this elite group, so probably like layers above P Diddy, like what can they have on each other that is keeping them quiet? Like, how much worse?
Well, it might not even be a case of them having things on each other. They might just.
What, like something religious or something like that, like ritual?
No, I don't think it wouldn't be religion.
There could literally be like a group of like 3 families that like basically like think like Game of Thrones style or whatever, where you have like literally like a house of people like that literally like control like.
There are families like that.
Everything.
There are. There's like. There's a German
That's
family.
what the royal thing.
It's the Rothschilds.
Go back a few centuries. That's what like the monarchies are.
They owned like half of the banks in Europe or something. I think they own a lot less now, but like there are families like that, and it's like, how can they be this rich, but then there somehow be someone else that's even more richer but completely hides it?
And
I think many years ago it would be a lot easier to do it. But again, you talked about the hacker who can find out any information. How has someone not found out something? Or maybe it's a matter
because
of
they're probably they're probably ahead. Yeah, think about like how the CIA have apparently got like access to technology that's like.
Oh yeah, no,
they're working with technology that's like 30 years ahead. These elites would be like even further ahead. They wouldn't be.
That's another thing.
It's just like inconceivable to us low life peasants.
I was thinking the other day, what do you reckon is kicking about now, which is just unavailable. It won't be around for another 10, 20 years, but there is stuff like right now which will be like so influential and like life changing that we just won't get and for another 20. Like, if you look at the internet was kicking about 20 years before it came out commercially.
Yeah, but all of those things, there was money and talk and investment that created them before. There's nothing that came out of nowhere.
Well, it's most of it's influenced by war.
When the aeroplane, people were researching that for years, and yeah, they were saying they can't do it, but there was people who were saying, look, we are doing this, we're trying to do it, and there's always a pessimistic and optimistic view. The argument that there's going to be technology out that comes out, yeah, we might not have general knowledge of it right now, but there will be. To create a new technology now, it needs money behind it, and you could say maybe that money is coming from these deep networks, but I don't believe it. Do I think you have to look at Biden? Or was he really doing everything in government? No, of course he wasn't.
No,
and there was someone that even said like he had an interview with him. Like a day after he was with him and watched him sign something. And Biden was saying, no, I never signed that. Biden didn't realise what he had signed or something like that. I don't know if it's a true story, but I'm pretty sure it was. It was a journalist talking about it, who interviewed Biden about what he signed like the day before or a week before. And Biden was like, no, I didn't sign that. He didn't realise what he had signed. So that, there is people behind our leaders and... yeah, that more powerful and that we'll probably never know the name of, but do I think this is wide network? And what is this wide network trying to achieve?
Well, you don't know.
If it does exist.
Who knows?
World domination.
Well, it's just to steer
Who is
agendas.
achieving world domination? People who are in the public are.
Yeah, but there's also the luxury of being able to do that without being known. Like, you look at how many celebrities they look back and wish they weren't famous anymore. Like, Michael Jackson rented out a whole shopping mall just to do shopping and filled it with his family and friends to feel like he was normal again. Like, there's so many setbacks to having fame. To be able to have this massive power and influence whilst being unknown, I think is scarily.
But is it really power? Like,
well, of course it is.
You suffer no repercussions for any mistakes you make.
But when
true power.
You look back in the past. Who do you look at? Like these secret names who work behind?
Yeah, but they
great
don't care.
leaders. Or
yeah, but you wouldn't care though. Like even if nobody else knows it's you, if you know.
But I'm trying to think. What is the reason for you to do that? What is the reason to want world domination and no one know your name?
No, yeah,
because it's not about notoriety. It's not even about that. It's just about like having power. Like, I don't know. There's probably are like these elite families which just have a massive control over things in the background.
Also, it boils down to like, if even at the rudimental level, like you look at people that hide their identities online while still having they becoming basically. Not cult lead, but I don't really know where I'm going with this, but
extreme.
You can have these extreme subgroups which the leaders don't show their face because it's more about the overall message that they're giving rather than themselves. They realise that it's something that's bigger than them, and them having their identity out doesn't really change a whole lot in terms of it's their influence that they have rather than them as a person.
But also, how is it then? I get that, but if it's a network of people, what are they working towards, and are they in different countries or in one country? How have you got someone in America who's going to be working with someone in China, and they both have the common goal, or even in the UK?
Well, that's the point. Is that they might have this common goal,
how would you know?
Which supersedes any like. If these people do exist, they'll look down at what's going on currently and think, right, oh, look, we've got this porn over here, we've got this porn over here, we're making them do that. Like, we don't really care because we're above that. And we can kind of just,
and maybe they're creating war to produce a new technology, that sort of thing. I get that. But I just don't see the motivation for it.
Well, that's the argument.
And
what if it's a higher species and there's like an alien?
Here we go.
We're just a play toy to them.
Is this your conspiracy?
What if that's the case?
This your conspiracy?
No. Mine's very similar. I might as well say mine. No. I might as well say mine now though, because it basically ties into this.
We can flow into it.
It's called,
go on to yours.
It's called Bohemian Grove. If you've ever heard of that.
Oh, not too much actually. Why don't you tell us more about it, mate?
Bohemian Grove.
Right. Okay. Yes.
I think I have heard of that.
Okay. Well, I'll jog your memory just in case. Bohemian Grove is a private 2,700-acre retreat located in Monte Rio, California. It has been the site of an exclusive annual gathering of some of the most powerful and wealthy men in the world for over a century.
Men.
The club is known for being an all-male membership. Consisting of influential figures such as US presidents, business moguls, tech billionaires, high-ranking government officials, and prominent entertainers. Notable past members include Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, Henry Kissinger, and artists like Clint Eastwood.
Theodore Roosevelt as well.
Basically,
Another president.
The conspiracy theory is that they have basically satanic rituals going on there. that's the essence of it, really. And basically they form this society that is basically like the Illuminati.
Uh-huh.
Again, it is basically Finn's conspiracy, but you're given an example of where the network comes together.
Well, it's more of a cult, I'd say.
But that's not even it's not. That's not even because they're known figures. These elites that we were talking about before that nobody knows of, they wouldn't be attending this. They'd look down on this.
Yeah. So is it basic? Is it like a cult, or is it like just
essentially a cult?
Though?
Like the Red Shoe Club?
Well, that's what I mean. It's a conspiracy theory, but there was the reason why you've probably heard of it. You know, Alex Jones, that like guy who's often seen as like a nutter, always like big conspiracy theorist.
Is that the old guy?
No, he's got like a round face.
He's like relatively old now.
You'd recognise him if you saw him.
Yeah. In the year 2000, he released a documentary called I can't find the name. Oh, there we go. Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove, which showed members in robes and around a giant owl statue, and they were supposedly like burning human effigies. I think it was.
Wait, and he got footage of this, or what?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll insert it into the podcast now.
We might get copyrighted, but
and we're back. So,
I mean, I kind of want to see it for myself, but
yeah, true. I don't think I've actually seen the footage either.
Well, do some digging.
Do
some digging.
But
just because is there footage or is there like?
No, I know. I think
Because people,
well, it would have been like from like 2000, so it was like really grainy like footage as well.
Yeah, it's just 6 pictures on the screen.
That
that pretty much.
That is coincidental. But I mean, you have to look at London. London has the most private, some of the most private, exclusive members only clubs in the world. Like clubs we've never even heard of, never will be heard of, never even be able to join.
Oh, yeah. What about the one in
Germany?
Is
it a similar just sort of thing? Does that mean they're going there and planning how they want to build their world? Yeah, business deals will be made there. They'll be discussing things. They'll be talking about society.
Yeah, apparently
friends,
the fat boy. What were the bombs that got dropped on
Fat Boys,
Japan? Fat Boy and whatever the other one, Little Boy, whatever.
Slim Shady.
I think that apparently that is supposedly the idea for that was generated at Bohemian Grove. I think. Don't quote me on it though. That might be bullshit. But tying into this, have you heard of the MK Ultra experiments?
No.
I think again maybe heard of it.
The Duns.
Okay, now this is actually fucked because it's like this isn't even a conspiracy theory. This is proven to be true. It was basically like the CIA ran like a program for. I need to get some more facts up on this because it's very interesting. They were brainwashing people into. Hang on, let me find it. But the way that theory ties into the Bohemian Grove is that they believe that people, like these elite powers, have been controlling people that have this big public presence and brainwashing and mind controlling them, and changing
so
their personalities and behaviour in their favour. Yeah. So it's like you know, like when celebrities have sudden like personality changes or whatever, or they go off the rails. People think that these sort of programs might be responsible for that. It's not just.
Can I just ask how many
going
hours
off
a
the
day you
rails.
spend on Twitter, Ashley?
I chat GPT'd this earlier.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay, right. MK Ultra though. Here we go. This is very interesting because this is the one I found the other day when I was looking. MK Ultra was a covert CIA program that ran from the early 1950s to the 1970s, aimed at researching mind control, interrogation techniques, and behavioural modification. The program involved experiments with drugs, especially LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and other psychological methods, often conducted on unwitting subjects, including military personnel, prisoners, and civilians. It was officially exposed in the 1970s through congressional investigations, particularly the Church Committee and the Rockefeller Commission, revealing serious ethical violations, including illegal drug testing and human rights abuses. Many documents were destroyed in 1973, making a full understanding of the program difficult. So there was literally, and I think there was also, like, you know how a load of the Nazi scientists, like the fucked up ones that are doing all like the experiments and like the twins and that, in the concentration camps.
Yeah.
Concentration camps. They were supposedly using those doctors in these experiments or scientists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that's come from. Is that from
It's
me?
me. It's me. Uh-oh. Hold on. I have my trusty AirPods have died, but don't worry. I can get my headset from downstairs.
Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is these sort of very morally wrong sort of experiments are proven to exist and have happened many times before.
Yeah.
In the future.
And that to me sounds true, but you're putting two and two together saying that they were then used to mind control the elites of the world.
No, but that's not what I was trying to say. That's not what I was trying to say.
Well, yeah, but that study...
That's what speculation around Bohemian Grove was, that sort of research had been taken in and then used on big public figures so that they can be controlled by higher elites.
The research itself doesn't surprise me. That seems like something back in the day they would have tried to do. But then does it mean it was used for anything, or does it mean it was successful? Not necessarily. Yeah. Can you hear us?
I can. Hang on, let me...
Alright, cool. At least we can't hear ourselves. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, that obviously... Yeah, there's weird stuff that happens like that, but it doesn't necessarily suggest it was used for anything.
Well, I was going to say... Obviously, I've missed out what you boys were talking about a minute ago. But when Ashley was talking about documents that get destroyed, I was thinking, how often do you reckon that happens, that we just never find out? I mean, there's a lot of things that have a 60, I think, or 75 year buffer before they're allowed to be released to the public as public knowledge. How many of those things do you think just get destroyed because people think this is going to reflect so badly on either themselves or something bigger than themselves?
People can always protect themselves, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Look at 9/11. All of the destroyed documents in the Pentagon.
That's a whole other conversation in itself, which I feel like...
Let's not get on to
I feel
that.
like we shouldn't have that one today, maybe, but...
Yeah, no, I can see that happening. How often is it something that's actually a big deal, or whether it's someone just didn't do their job properly, or did something they shouldn't have, or whatever it is, and have just destroyed it to protect themselves. Whether it is some massive thing that they're hiding is probably a very, very rare thing. I
don't know. I feel like there's all sorts of, especially America. They've got all of those. They've got all of this dodgy history regarding stuff like this. Like what the war on drugs as well. Was that Reagan?
Yeah.
I can't remember. That was all sorts of... I think
that's like all of them have tried to do that, haven't they?
And the war against Iraq? Again, I don't know my facts or history enough to really comment on this properly. But
many things where the war in Iraq definitely was to do with oil, at least partly. There's lots of stuff where that they don't want to admit. Obviously, I don't disagree with that, but again, it still doesn't prove some network of elite people are trying to control the world. I think.
But do you think these congregations of elite people? Do you reckon they could be? Do you reckon these elite congregations of people could be like part of some sort of crazy cult, or do you reckon they are literally just rich and famous people meeting and having a drink and discussing business?
I think that there is a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors. and there are definitely elite circles. You just have to look at private member clubs. There are a lot of stuff.
Well, there's the Red Shoe Club, isn't there, as well? That's not necessarily a proven thing, but that's also a.
But no, there is loads of private member clubs in London, like that. It's virtually impossible to join.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So there is 100% circles of elite people, rich people that are talking together, and will be deciding things that affect the general public or are talking about society, whatever it is. But are they a focus goal? And also, like, if it is all these rich people, it's like, why is greed not? Who would lead them, and how would that work? So you think our democracies are then controlled by some democracy of, democracy of like these elite people? Surely they would be the more type to get greedy and want to control it. And how would that work? One person controlling it. Like, if you see what I say. I think there are people with a lot more power and we'll never know the name of, but I don't think there's some big network of
of
rich
elitists
people trying to find a common goal, sort of, or design society their way.
Oh, fair enough.
What? Have you watched the film Eyes Wide Shut?
I need to watch it, actually.
No.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it either, but we probably should have watched it in preparation for this podcast. It's basically
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, I think it explores this. It was Kubrick's last film, and coincidentally enough, perhaps another conspiracy theory here. Kubrick died of a heart attack on March 7th, 1999, just 6 days after showing his final cut of Eyes Wide Shut to Warner Brothers. His sudden death at age 70 led to speculation that he was silenced for exposing hidden truths about elite societies in the film.
Again, it's another one of those things where it could,
he's such a
something happened doesn't always. No, I just don't. Believe
I don't. I'm not saying I believe. I'm not. I'm not saying I don't believe that either. But it's interesting that he's made this big film that's exposing these supposed elite societies, and then
what I
dies out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, that is strange. But what I would argue is how many films, well, they're not necessarily doing it as a point to make out like the world is full of rich people and criminals essentially controlling everything.
Oh wait,
how many
I don't know if you can hear me at the moment.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
But this film was definitely made with to be a political statement. Yeah.
That one was.
Bro is gone. Bro is gone.
Oh.
Yeah, alright. My point is, how many films are made where they depict that as happening? Yeah, they're not necessarily inferring that is the actual case, but they are depicting that happens. I mean, you just have to look at the Penguin show. That essentially depicts that. Obviously, it's not trying to say that's what happened in real society.
Yeah.
But whereas this film may have been doing that, it's like, if that is the case and someone was trying to shut him up, how come they allow all of these films which essentially give the impression that could happen? Because people listen to their films, they just influence
because
them, it's meant to be fiction.
Kubrick's probably like top 3 like most influential like filmmakers of all time. So during that, he would have been like among those elites that would have had access to these sort of like parties or secret societies. So perhaps he knows something we don't, and then made this film as a sort of.
He will.
Because obviously it doesn't. It's not like it's not meant to depict real events, but it's like,
Yeah, but my point is about him getting shut up and killed. There are lots of films that suggest.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't
society.
saying. Yeah, no, obviously.
Yeah, I know. You're not. You're just putting the point out there that this could be the case. That's what we're arguing anyway. But again, I think there are bad people in the world, but for them to be able to form a network that across the world that can control everything. I just don't see how that would be possible.
Ben's only saying this because he's saying
that.
it because he hasn't figured out how to do it himself yet. That's what he's trying to be joining.
Yeah.
So he
wants a part of it. I don't see how can't see how that could happen. I feel like
it's so easy.
I
don't necessarily believe it's true, but I definitely could see how it could happen. Like, it could be a possibility.
You were just talking about, is Elon Musk the real power behind Trump? How would these rich, wanna-be really powerful people who half are criminals, or most of them are criminals, or doing criminals, how would they decide who is in charge of this organisation that controls everything? And if it is something, they do control everything, they've got to make decisions on who would be in charge of that. I don't think it would work as a democracy, surely.
Oh.
I have no idea how it'd work, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Like, yeah, there's weird things in the world, and we know there are bad people and rich people that have a lot more power than we know, but how would they actually work all together to control the world? That's where I disagree with it. I believe there are the people behind closed doors who have a lot more power than we know.
You say that, but
they aren't working together.
There are people, there will be people with common goals, and to say, I think it could work as a democracy. If they decide, if one person wants one thing, the other person doesn't, and then you kind of just go with the overall majority vote, and it all works at the same level, at different tiers.
But so what are you saying though? Is there one network that controls the whole world, or one network that controls America, or one?
I reckon it's the whole
Europe?
world. If it was to exist, it'd be the whole world.
But then, how would they vote for anything?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a massive network. But then
it's probably a very small group of people, I think, that have control. It might be one like family, one group of people. You don't know. I don't know.
And how would one group of family get their fingers into every government? Oh, shit.
Well, it could just be a long-standing.
Sorry, over my.
It could just be a long-standing thing that's kind of Well, I feel like you'd kind of maybe not too far back, as in like 800 years, but far back enough that it's an inbuilt system in society that.
And then, okay, 800 years. How are they communicating to decide things?
I would say probably not 800 years ago, but like within relatively.
Okay, well, when would it form then?
Let's say 200 years. Let's say, or maybe even in the last 100 years. Maybe even the last 100 years.
100 years. How? Then I guess there is communication 100 years, but.
Right, let's think about this.
For only 100 years, you think well-established governments have been around for more than 100 years. You think one family have been able to grow power into every single government where they can control it in 100 years.
Can I butt in before I forget this point, because it might be good. I don't know if it's going to come out as a load of bollocks, but think about it, right? We're all atheist men here, I believe.
I would say so, yeah.
That have a religious belief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you believe that these religious texts that are massively influential today are written by a mortal, normal human being, or collective of people, and they are the most famous texts and books ever created to our knowledge in human history.
True.
There's no names to these books, and think of how much influence and power they have. They've started like wars. Everything. Like, think about the amount of influence and power. And there's no name to it. So
I see what you're saying.
About that. That could have been created by some this elite group and used to control people.
I see what you're saying, but and I don't know much about all religious texts, but as far as I know, the Bible is essentially kind of a book of short stories that have meaning, each of them. So I would, if I had to guess, it was stories that were added together by rich and powerful people and were slowly building to a more common book, and that would have been edited, and it would take. To be honest, I don't know the history of the Bible. I'm sure there is some explanation of it. Again, yeah, I see your point.
There is no proof for. There is no there's no scientific proof that, or not scientific at all really, but there's no proof of any person or group of people writing it.
Otherwise, don't know that. Well, there could be. We're talking without a lot of knowledge on the subject. But then there also certainly isn't proof that some big network of people, or a small network of very wealthy people, created it themselves. And you're googling the history of the Bible, really.
I'm saying,
is there proof behind who wrote?
I think you'll likely find that it's just a collection of stories which were passed down through generations that accumulated to one common message. And it essentially, without saying stuff that's going to cause offence in any way, but religion it's a guide to, or it's a set of guidelines to a way to live your life, isn't it, really?
It's kind of the opposite of a conspiracy theory. Or it is a conspiracy theory in the world. Religion is, I guess. There's a big god that is its own conspiracy theory, but it's one that's supposed to give you hope and have people's morals and behaviour kind of align.
But again, we're not really qualified to talk on this.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, but I think the point is with conspiracy theories, there's often evidence to suggest they could be true, but there's also evidence to suggest they aren't true. So it kind of just comes down to opinion at that point. It's whether you think there's a reason for that to be done or not, or it's like I don't know much about the whole. I used to watch videos on the whole 9/11 crap, but I remember just thinking they like to talk a lot of evidence about what makes it possible that it could be a conspiracy theory and it was planned or whatever. But they kind of ignore everything that suggests that's not the case, and I think that's a lot.
Well, that's a lot of because you turn a blind eye to everything, don't you? That is essentially what conspiracy theories are, and it's also when people that create them or pass them around, they are just in an echo chamber, which of confirmation bias, of basically reaffirming their beliefs and thoughts. If if everyone's just going, yeah, that's got to be it. Like, you're not going to be able to.
So is that
challenge that?
Is all conspiracy theories dangerous then?
Of course, yeah, because they've got the power to radicalise in many situations. I mean, if you look at a lot of troubled people, whether or not they spring from conspiracy theories, but you get a lot of people that are hard believers in them, which you just look at them and you think, what the hell? It's so easy to get consumed by them and form such an agenda towards it or against a certain thing because of these theories and because of people just reaffirming that to them in these subcultures. So I think it can be dangerous.
Think about the flat Earth theory. That's the flat Earth theory is quite clearly just nonsense, but there's a big group of people that believe in it.
But you also look at the kind of COVID vaccine stuff. In terms of if you're looking at just general danger, not getting vaccinated. I mean, people have their own views on it, but just for the sake that you think that the government's trying to implant a chip inside you, I think it's a bit ludicrous, to be honest. But then it leads back. Maybe that is what they're doing.
But then that's not even the main. There's so many conspiracy theories surrounding that, isn't it?
I think also
it's not just necessarily a chip.
Yeah, and conspiracy theories make people money. Make them lots of money. People make careers off of it.
Well, you look at public speakers as well.
It's sort of been aligned with right-wing politics as well, kind of, at the moment.
People like Ben Shapiro.
And
He
what's
doesn't
the guy who used
talk
to be a
about
comedian?
conspiracy
Well, he doesn't.
theories,
No,
does he?
well, he does to some
Jimmy
extent.
Carr.
No, not Jimmy Carr. Russell Brand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
loves
he's
a
in it.
conspiracy
Yeah, but
theory,
he's in
and
the
he's
whole
gone very.
rock
Yeah, but what did he was doing? I can't remember
Right,
what
he's
he
been
was doing.
accused of
He's
stuff.
beating
But that's
his missus?
no.
Oh no, it
He's
was rape,
saying
wasn't it?
he's saying that's all part of the conspiracy. They're trying to shut him up because he's
That's
exposing.
something that I think is.
He's saying because he's exposing this. He's talking about stuff that you guys were introducing about. There's an elite network controlling the media, controlling everything essentially.
That's the thing. As soon as you speak out,
So what
Why
you're saying is, if there's no episode 3 of the podcast, we know what's happened.
I
The
think
elites have got us.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but then also we don't have a following, whereas he does.
well, that's
No,
what they're going
I'm
for.
not
They're
saying
going
in
for
any
the
way-
little men, mate. They're
I'm
picking them
not
off
saying
at
in
the
any way
roots.
that
Yeah, that's
I believe
the
Russell Brand. I'm
silence
just
of
saying
heads.
that he's made a career off of it, but
Well, I think that's something in itself. Like you get people like him, and you just sound like crazy for talking about it, or even like. I mean, we know people in our lives, looking back at school, who were really involved with conspiracy theories and kind of just believe them to the world. So I'm not going to name names.
did.
I'm not going to name names, but
no.
I
We can
did.
cut it. I'll bleep them out, but I want to. I don't know who you're talking
right,
about.
you look at hell, mate. Like,
I feel like I,
didn't even know
believed quite a few.
that person was.
I'll make sure you bleep it anyway.
I believe I believed
would
a
it?
few conspiracy theories. I think it's also young.
I'll put it in the
being
chat.
young, you're easily influenced, aren't you?
Well, yeah, exactly, and it's
Yeah.
also just
I
it's the
think-
acceptance. It's the wanting to be accepted in part of stuff that kind of leads you down.
and I
them.
think in some way, some people they want to blame something. You know, they want to have to be able to blame something with issues and whatnot. But I mean, I think that's whenever you hear someone talking about conspiracy theory, we're not. But a lot of the time, they only talk about the things that kind of prove it to
That's
be
what I'm
true.
saying. It's confirmation
They never
bias.
go at the end. They never go at the end. You know, there's all these points that sort of say it's probably bollocks. It's not true. They just kind of ignore that. And if the people that view that content never do their own research or never see anything else, and then they click on another video where they talk about a similar thing, and then they go down a deep hole, that's where I think they can obviously be dangerous.
Yeah.
But
No,
I mean, they're
definitely
interesting to talk
conspiracy
about.
theories can be dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but
What about why don't we just briefly discuss some of the bigger ones? Like let's talk about aliens. Do you
Oh,
reckon?
here we go. I don't think you could even
exist.
count that as being a conspiracy theory. Like I think,
Yeah. I mean,
So
yeah,
what
I
were you
think
saying
so.
about aliens?
well, just whether they exist.
Do you
Like,
think
I
they
think they
exist?
have to exist. I feel like it's
I'm
quite
not saying like
not
a
necessarily
little
even
green guy
intelligent.
with a big head and black eyes.
Yeah, not necessarily
but
intelligent life.
do you
I feel
think-
like it's quite depressing to think
Well,
and
we know
necessarily
there's-
even
there's-
believe.
We know there is alien life. Is whether there is intelligent life, alien bacteria and stuff.
you-
That is confirmed.
Do we think there's
Whether there's-
sentient beings that
I think there has to be. I think
exist
it's
on other
quite.
planets or solar systems?
I think it's quite depressing to believe that there isn't. To think
The-
that this
the-
is it. Like we are
the
it.
chances of life
we
are very...
cannot be. Could you imagine throughout the whole of existence, everywhere, any universe, anything? We were the only planet. And
What
we're
about
the-
in our own
There's
universe,
no
though,
way.
or our
I
own
don't
galaxy?
think that we're.
Oh yeah, 100%. Mate, we're the only ones in
Ah.
the galaxy. If you're talking about observable universe rather than galaxy, because
But
the
the
galaxy's only
conditions-
7 planets.
The conditions for life
9
are
planets.
so
Is it?
the
8?
probability of them being created is very low. I think there is only a few planets where life could possibly be on within our galaxy.
Well, there's the perfect. What's the zone called? I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, there's the perfect zone. And the thing is, like, we are. I feel like we're such knobheads just talking about this, but like the chances of even us being about is so slim. Like the events that had to lead up, like the butterfly effect of events that had to lead up to our.
But then essentially
Being.
the universe and all universes is infinity. So then surely it doesn't matter what the probability is. eventually it's going to happen, and it has happened, so it must happen again, surely. So yeah, I do believe whether we'll ever discover aliens or whether they've discovered ours, probably not.
Eight.
But yeah, I believe they're probably true.
But then, with that, there's also the theory that the universe kind of does this, and it expands and then it contracts, and it expands and then it contracts. Like the Big Bang was maybe the start of this period, but before that, there was a whole other one that was before. We talked about it in science in school, Ben, but like Mr. Thompson. But the idea that it's just a perpetual cycle of expand, contract, expand. Like, there's like infinite amounts of Big Bangs.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually not a bad theory, to be honest.
I thought we discussed the universe is just expanding, not contracting, but
I wasn't paying attention.
I can't remember
Shows.
who got the grade 9 in physics, but
Yeah. You just knew how to answer the questions, mate. You didn't do the deep thinking.
I just got to sit next to the smart ones. That's what helped me, I think. and I didn't have Kieran, I guess. Maybe you could blame it on him. Oh, that's what you used to do anyway.
Hey, the numbers don't lie.
Oh.
But
Although I believe we won't get into that whole.
I think
conspiracy theory.
Kieran's got me first podcast guest.
I've actually had a couple people, one person
here we go.
asked to come on.
Was it Maddie?
No, it was
it
John
Lauren?
wants to come on. Yeah.
We'll get.
Yeah,
right. I reckon when we go skiing, we just get all of them on. John,
I said he could get a feature then.
mate, Sam Carmody and Pete.
Oh.
Like,
I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Sam
yeah,
Carmody
yeah, get
wants to
every- get
actually
everyone.
talk about. We could ask about his job.
it would
and whatnot,
divert
but-
away from that so quickly.
Yeah, like that would be kind of like the start of it, but yeah, go to either. Also, he's got his old comedy creative, or no, not what's the other one?
Creative
that he's doing with
Chapters.
his mate. Creative Chapters, yeah, and they actually have a few.
He's
Not loads of followers, but
nuts
they got
as
a
well.
few.
He's so good at what he does.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So we could exchange followers, kind of, maybe. Yeah, but
Get a shout from
and
Palms,
if,
mate.
and if we, if this does become a thing, we're going to need a production company. So,
So true. What, you saying Ashley's not good enough?
well, or Ash can keep doing it, but not if it takes him
production
2
company.
weeks.
That's because he's been dicking about.
Oh, it's been done, mate. It's been done.
Yeah, okay.
It's been
okay.
done. It's ready to go.
All right, take it back. Take it back.
All right.
Now I want to make last minute changes to your your outfit. I think we should just stick with that. Let's have a vote.
No.
Vote for the vote in the comments, guys.
I'm vetoing this vote.
We'll show
Is,
you.
is he the higher power? That's,
No, I'm just using my veto.
who said you got a
There might be
veto?
secret higher power
Yeah.
behind the podcast
Yeah.
that overrules that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, it's surely a democracy we believe in. We don't believe in dictatorship, do we, Mr.
powers-
Blonde Blue?
the powers
definitely.
are-
We'll have a vote.
The powers are the chance of this podcast making any money compared to the chances of me, having a normal
Right,
job.
Ash, we can't have this attitude in here, mate. We
no,
get rid of
no.
him now. We get rid of him now.
It's
Cut ties. Where's the belief?
I've got more belief than you, Finley. Thank you very much.
What?
I just still have to maintain the more likely. Yeah. Awkward silence.
It's not awkward. It's only awkward if
Okay.
you make it awkward.
Any quick fire conspiracy theories then? I had a good one
The
actually.
thing is, that I feel like all the not common ones are just so saturated. Oh, mate, get over it. Like all the common ones are just they're so saturated and boring now to discuss. It's just like, shut up.
It is a bit of an overdone.
that is true.
overdone
That's what I mean. Like,
stuff.
I was trying to look at ones that are just like not really discussed.
9/11,
No, we're not talking about that. We're not
52.
talking about
Moon landing, flat Earth.
that. Yeah. No, but that's
No,
what.
I'm just saying they're like the ones that you hear
Any more
every day.
UK based?
Well, there is the one that I was speaking to Ashley about beforehand, and it kind of does tie into the other ones we've been talking about. But the whole like Beyonce thing of music artists when they get awards.
That was the biggest load of shit I have ever heard.
I think it's got a bit behind it. Not really, but about when they all thank Beyonce when they get rewards, because there's the whole thing that Jay-Z and her have this kind of like thing over everyone, and there was this like 21-year-old rapper, I can't remember what her name was, but she either didn't thank Beyonce or just spoke bad about her, and she ended up in a mysterious plane crash which was never explained a couple of weeks later. And there was another one as well, another young up and coming artist. It was her.
Have you been on Twitter recently?
No, I've not on Twitter for months now. I've deleted it because I didn't need it.
Not a fan of Elon Musk, is it?
No, it's just like I don't like all the stuff I get on there. It's just nothing.
Okay, well, a question for Ash then. You are a Twitter user.
Was a Twitter warrior.
Better now
Twitter warrior.
or worse?
Yeah. I use Twitter for pretty much. I'm following like 16 accounts, and all of them are Liverpool related or Liverpool ticket related.
Oh, is that you? Oh, so you don't actually use it that much? Oh.
Well, I do,
still use
but
it.
I don't use
20
it
hours
for
a
anything
day.
else.
Oh, okay.
It's just like and like the
have it, but I
transfers,
don't really
football
use it.
transfers.
Fair enough then. Guess you can't really answer that question.
I've looked up UK-based conspiracy theories. I can't believe we didn't mention this one.
Oh, here we
Death
go.
of Princess Diana.
Oh no.
I've been thinking that one, but again, I don't really know the details of it.
Was she
So,
assassinated? Again, I think that seems like that one that could definitely be like true. It's definitely got some
Again,
plausibility.
but-
Was the
All of
Queen
what
a
Harry's-
lizard?
all
Does
of
she
what-
drink? Have you heard the ones where she like apparently drinks the blood of children in Canada? Because every time she goes to Canada, the abduction rates of children go
Yeah.
up slightly.
Oh yeah.
Some of them are mental.
This is not like UK children then. Like, why does it not have...
Canadian ones. I don't know.
Maybe that's why Prince Harry's gone over there. To keep the numbers up after her death.
Oh, maybe.
Oh my god.
Maybe if he survives till like 110, then we know why.
Yeah.
I guess I've got a bit of a relevant one then. What do you think of Donald Trump's assassination attempts?
Oh,
Especially
well,
the
that's
first one.
kind of what I was talking about earlier with the radicalisation of people through not necessarily conspiracies, but through like things they
Yeah.
hear. Like that guy was just mentally not there, was
No,
he?
the first one...
Which was the
The
first,
first one had no social media.
What the DJ on the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He had no social media.
yeah, but you hear stuff, don't you?
Well, how? What do you mean you hear? Well, yeah.
Mate, like especially in America, you're not gonna not be aware of Trump, are you? You're still going to be able to watch the news.
Yeah, but we're talking about what has radicalised people the most. Probably
just
social media.
yeah, but you
This
look at the
guy
news.
Wasn't on it.
Social media's only been about for the last really 20, not even
So
20
you don't think
years.
you just think it was some guy who really thought Trump was the worst. In the
Well,
world.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
we
but
weren't.
Ben, you look at
trained or paid.
look at JFK's assassination or Lincoln's assassination. Like
Well,
it
again,
still
they're
happens.
they're dodgy things with them as well, aren't
Exactly.
they? So
What's the
it
conspiracy theory behind this? Is it that the
Well, essentially-
assassination attempt was fake, and it was just to
Like,
generate
no,
publicity?
not fake. So it was the
Well, then it was
media
set
story.
up to.
The media story was it was an individual killer. He just wanted to go kill Trump because of his own views. Maybe he had been
Right.
radicalised, but he weren't on social media. He was also allowed to go on the closest building to Trump, which had a ladder. He didn't have to put a ladder; it had a ladder.
And it wasn't covered.
Yeah, it wasn't covered. There was so many holes in the whole defence of Trump, but then that doesn't necessarily mean it was planned. But essentially, was the killer paid, or was he actually trained? What was it, or was it just some random young man who wanted to kill Trump because he thought he was bad?
It was
sort of
close.
thing?
I thought the conspiracy theory surrounding that was that like it was organised by like not necessarily Trump, but like that whole side of things or his people, to generate publicity, and then
it cannot be
he was
organised by
purposely
Trump.
shot in the ear.
Can't be organised by Trump.
I don't think it's true, because he was if you looked at the thing, he was very
literally
close to being shot in the head.
Yeah, millimeters from killing Trump.
Yeah, well, he killed other people, didn't he, as well? So.
Well, yeah, exactly. That, again, no. But why would Trump organise it? And the skill that would take for it to be that, because it's not down to the killer. It's not down to the shooter missing. It's down to Trump moving his head.
Yeah,
that's why the bullet didn't hit him. So there's no way it was planned by Trump. But basically, the theory was it planned by Biden or someone or someone behind there, or
somebody with
this
great cognitive skill,
elite network.
Yeah. I feel like that's got no momentum behind it. I think it was just.
I don't either. Yeah, I know.
I don't know a lot about it, but I do think it's strange that he had no social media as a young adult. How many young adults have no social media?
I think there's probably more than you think.
But if I was if I was
radicalised that you wanted to kill the future president, and without any social media influence, I don't know if it's. It's one of those things that's weird scenarios. But I bet there are points that if people who know more about it.
Well, that's fair. I feel like we don't know enough about it, really, do we?
But then I feel like it also hasn't. I feel like
that's a common theme that's been running through this
realistically, we don't know a lot about anything. We're just
no.
I mean, I researched mine a little bit, but there wasn't much to research.
No,
it was. Yeah, it was basically GB News came up with the story, so that pretty much says all it needs to say.
Well, yeah.
Trying to think of any other ones in the UK that are quite interesting.
The royal family are not human. One of the most bizarre theories claims that the British. Yeah. You know David Icke?
No, I've heard of him.
David Icke's the old
nutter.
one. No.
He's the old fella. He was on the True Geordie podcast back in the day.
Yeah.
He believes they're reptilian shapeshifters.
What do you think of True Geordie then? Because I think he's been radicalised.
I can't believe.
I used to really.
I can't believe
True
he's
Geordie.
been able to have a return to kind of spotlight to us. Like he's commentating on
I
stuff.
think Lawrence was a good counterweight to him. And stopped
he went off the rails, man.
True Geordie and his.
He went off the rails, got kind of taken away from everything, and now he's all of a sudden being put back into stuff. It's just like, how's that?
It's because he's lent into that sort of far right.
He's gone into it more.
That right. Yeah, he's lent into it because he wasn't that before. He was like the working class, like left, like Lawrence especially. Lawrence very left.
Yeah,
and then but he's just kind of he made that Islamophobic comment, I think it was, and then he just
he said about the whole thing. We won't say obviously, but and that's why Lawrence then stopped working with him. He lost his Gymshark, load of his brand deals. I mean, he had the biggest podcast in the UK, I think, didn't he? Or
Happy Hour might have been big. Actually, to be fair, at the time, it was definitely top three.
Or he had the biggest football commentary show as well. What was it called?
Kickoff. I used to watch Kickoff all the time.
Yeah, so that like. Yeah, I mean, massive. Then obviously lost Lawrence, lost loads of brand deals. Yeah, and that now he seems to be a bit more radical in his views.
But I just think it's surprising that he's managed to make the comeback to us, like that he's been accepted in.
How much of a comeback has he made though? I feel like he's had one of the biggest fall-offs of all time.
He's still about though. Like if he fell off that hard, you wouldn't know about him.
I haven't seen anything from him.
He's been on his commentary. He commentated on Misfits, I think.
Oh yeah, he was on the last.
He was on Tyson. He was on Fury.
Yeah.
He's got like a deal with DAZN now. Like he's massive, probably.
That's what I mean.
Bigger than he was before.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
bigger mainstream.
I don't follow him.
Well, no. Reasons or that as well.
He used to be so good. Kick off, EXO, fall off. It's crazy.
Yeah, like I still watch some of his videos, and then I just kind of want to click off after a while because it's just
True
the same
News
old.
as well. Oh,
Yeah, True News was good as well.
I never really watched him, so I can't really say a whole lot about it. But
no,
shit.
it was really good. I used to watch it like every podcast.
No, I didn't watch every podcast, but I wasn't that much into podcasts back then anyway. But I used to watch, True News and some like he talked about sports and things. But yeah, a bit different.
What are your guys' favourite podcasts of all time?
that's the thing. I don't actually listen to any.
Have you never listened? You must have listened to like
No,
a few
I've listened
episodes
to,
of
like-
As in
podcasts before, then.
episode or podcast channel.
Or which podcast channel is your favourite?
Ash, if you say the Ricky Gervais one, mate.
Oh, that of course it is. Of course it is. I've listened to
So
that
predictable.
the amount of hours I've put into that one. But not only that, I've listened to loads. I mean, even like Waffling, I still think that's, even to this day, that's still pretty good. Team Deacon's podcast as well, I mentioned last week, Roger Deakins. That's my live guy who I'd go to the pub with. That's a great podcast, but like it's more like informative, and it's like discuss like conversations with people in film. But
I won't
love
lie,
that one
most
as
of
well.
my podcasts are about money. So
Of course.
I won't even mention
do you
it.
watch Stephen Bartlett?
I do watch Diary of a CEO, but I wouldn't.
That's it.
Wouldn't say it's.
Get out.
Wouldn't say it's my favourite. I don't like Joe Rogan as much, really. I feel
So
like
I
Joe
like-
Rogan is not the best interviewer. He just has a
not,
good show because he gets the best on there.
Some of
His
his
show is
I
carried by the guest.
some of his podcasts are really good though. Like I remember, like, have you seen that Forrest Galanti?
Oh, I
The
love
guy
him.
who
I've
does, like-
started watching him like
Yeah.
quite recently, but yeah, I really like him.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah, like
with
wait,
Joe Rogan,
yeah, that
like,
is-
when
that
that
is
same
guest.
when that same guest goes on another show, like I think the show's better with the when he's on the different shows better with the same guest. But yeah, Modern Wisdom's quite good.
Who's that? I
That's
don't know who
probably-
that is. Who does that?
That is, I cannot think of his name right now. I'll get it up.
But yeah, personally,
Yes,
I don't really listen to it. I've got a lot of my mates do, and obviously you guys do. But I don't know if it's just because I've not given them any chance, or I
Chris Williamson, that is.
the idea of sitting down and
don't know who
committing,
that
like
is.
you were saying the other day, Ben, about
Oh
committing
yeah,
to
I do know who that is.
committing to a podcast. Like sometimes you'll listen to like half an hour, and then you won't go back
Yeah,
to
I
it.
mean,
But I'd rather just listen to
Yeah.
music, but then that maybe is just a reflection of my character anyway.
I,
Right.
I used to listen to a lot more entertainment podcasts, like Waffling and things like that. And then I sort of went out of that and would just listen to music. But yeah, now, predominantly my podcasts are about sort of money and but quite a bit about psychology as well. And like motivation, business, all that sort of stuff. Probably boring to you guys, but I guess like career stuff as well.
Yeah.
So nothing really interesting, but yeah, Modern Wisdom is good. I'd recommend that. He gets some very good guests on, and it's not just about like business and stuff. There is some more sort of light-hearted
He's
guests. And...
he's the motivational quote guy, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Chris
Yeah.
Williamson. It's
Never
like the
believe I'm good
skinheads.
He's a skinhead. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I listened to him.
You're really living up to the stereotype of those podcast audiences with the quarter zip on.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
that's why I actually chose to not wear my one today. I thought
I should have wore a hoodie and then we'd all be matching.
Hey, you got to stand up, mate.
Yeah, well, I've just come back from Albania. Actually, we could
Oh
talk
yeah,
about that.
I was
Wait,
actually.
oh, yeah,
So
go on.
that was only a couple of days, wasn't it?
Yeah, we went Friday evening and came back Sunday. Yeah, pretty much not even 48 hours, I don't think.
Well, probably don't want to be there
how
for
was it,
more than
though?
48 hours, really, do you?
No, I'll tell you what,
Was it
it's
not?
actually... We went to the capital city, Tirana, I believe it's pronounced, or Tehran. No, I think it's Tirana. Yeah, which is like... It's not like a really developed city, but it don't feel like a poor country.
It's probably similar to what Sofia in Bulgaria is like. That's where I went last year with my
Probably,
mates
I
from
guess,
uni.
little bit similar to Croatia as well, but less historic buildings, I would say.
Did you manage to get like a overall like an overview of the city? Because when in Bulgaria, I know it's away from that, but there's this mountain that we climbed up, and you could basically overlook at the whole city, and it was just the city, and around that it was just fields, and there was nothing. It was literally just city there, airport there. Around that, it was just barren. Apart from that,
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have time to like go up any mountains really, but our hotel had 23 floors, so we got a view of it like that, and the city is kind of surrounded by mountains.
right? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think I
and
saw.
Yeah, the coast of Albania is supposed to be really nice as well, because it's next to Greece, so it's really nice. We got lucky with the weather as well, but yeah, there wasn't loads to do in the city. It looks like quite a big city, like looking around, but there just wasn't like loads to do. Like it's hard to find somewhere to eat during the day.
Okay,
Yeah.
Evenings it was fine, but it was hard to find.
Was
I
it?
mean, again, I was
was
only
it
there for 2 nights, but
relatively cheap, or was it?
like not really cheap. Definitely cheaper. Like drinks cheap, but food not a lot cheaper. But yeah, because I had some hotel points. We were staying in a 5-star hotel. So the food there, I would say, was like the price of a nice-ish restaurant in the UK.
What, like Mackey's?
Well, maybe a little bit more than Mackey's, but yeah. But yeah, not too bad. They use Albanian lek and euros.
Well, the Bulgarians use. I know they use lev. They use lev.
Oh, okay.
Similar.
Did you
Yeah,
get up
if
to
I was
anything
gonna-
exciting out there?
Yeah, I had
Do
a
anything?
couple's massage. That was interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah. None of that. None of that soppy shit.
I'll tell you, it's a bit awkward, a massage, to be honest. That was my first one, obviously.
Were they both? What genders were the
Right.
masseuses?
Who'd you go with? Your dad?
They were. No, I went with my girlfriend, but it was two
He
ladies.
had a game in Munich, mate.
And yeah, I lie down. You say I'm ready, and then they come back in, and then she fucking just jumped on my back and is like putting her like knees in my back, and I'm like, didn't expect this.
Was it one? Did you have one masseuse that did like both of you?
Yeah, just double
No,
it.
so two. You're on like
Two.
two beds, two masseuse, masseuse, whatever you call them, and yeah, they just sort of pull you about, massage you.
As a happy ending then, did you? By the sounds of it,
Yeah,
getting
no
pulled
happy
about.
endings.
But you weren't-
Did you get a
happy
long
endings,
job?
unfortunately.
Fuck's sake.
There was no happy endings, no. But yeah, it was good. I sort of ached afterwards, which apparently is normal.
Right.
But yeah,
So I need a good massage. I've got a
I think-
little nook in my back from my guitar where I have it on the strap.
I do-
It's so bloody heavy.
it felt nicer on my arms and legs. Like I didn't feel like they did a lot to my back. Like they were, but it didn't feel like it relieved everything. On my arms and legs, it kind of felt the nicest, I would say. But yeah, it was a good experience. What's someone's goals for this year then? What's everyone's goals for this year? Everyone got to name three goals
Oh, mate.
for the year. Or at least one then.
Hang on. Let me readjust my bottoms.
I would like,
I'll
Oh, okay.
go, you go.
I would like to.
Go to Turkey.
I'd like to get five.
I feel like delayed for you? Is that how long it took?
No, you
Yeah,
just didn't comprehend it. Didn't
I was
process
trying
it.
to, I was trying to think of my goals, and then I just said Turkey. I was like, what? No, I'll wait for a few years until the technology is advanced. The hairline's really gone, like really disappeared into the stratosphere, and then I'll get it for cheap when the technology's better. Thank you very much. But no, my goals for
What's
the
to talk
year.
about that? Just holiday, mate.
Okay.
Anyway, crack on.
All
Crack on.
right.
Crack on.
I'd go for.
You just say one start with.
Oh,
Or do you want me to?
I
say
want
one,
to. I want to get like. I want to write. Basically, I want to make 5 of my own short films.
Oh,
Okay.
good
Does your
goal.
documentary count as one?
No,
Finn's documentary.
that's not a short.
No?
That's not a short film. No.
It's not got a narrative, a fictional narrative.
All right. I think that's a good goal. I'll go with mine, which links to me going to Albania. Go to 3 new countries, and I've done
3?
one.
Ooh.
So
Nice goal.
2 more to go.
Have you got any countries in mind? Oh, sorry. Have you got any countries in mind?
Not exactly. I think so. If we do the group holiday, maybe Greece, because I've never been to Greece. But whether the group holiday happens or not, I don't know. But maybe go to Greece anyway, even if not. And then probably another city break somewhere in Europe. Or Maddie's finishing uni this year, so maybe somewhere outside of Europe, like towards the end of the year. Bit of a bigger holiday, but yeah, not sure yet. I don't really care, to be honest. I just want to see the
Forget
world.
about. Yeah, fair
Maybe
enough.
somewhere new.
Yeah.
What about you, Phil?
Well, to be fair, I'm meant to kind of be looking at it over this period at the moment, but I wanna travel next year, or not as in next academic year after I finish uni. I keep kind
So
of like
you're going to take a year. You take a year out, and then
yeah, like
Okay.
I think if I don't
Are you
go
going on tour then, or not?
going on tour, what are you on about?
Like taking your band around the country, different
Well, to be
different
fair,
pubs, or
Fair boys, we are nearly at 200 followers right now, so going global.
yeah, but like surely you could book your own
Global.
pubs around the country.
Oh no, yeah, we could do. I want to go to Australia. I think. Well, no, I don't think. I want to go to Australia. Actually, to kind of look into that, and also I want to do. I've got the idea of a ski season in Canada, which I need to look further into as well. I kind of like need. That's what I say. I need to do it now because otherwise I'm just not
My
going to
cousin
do it. But
is currently doing a ski season in
where are
Canada.
they now?
I could maybe ask them how they did it, but
I have.
I'm sure you can research it anyway. But
But no, yeah, that is my goal. Is to. Well, that's one of my goals. Is to travel next year and kind of just do it on my own and do it before I get tied down into a job.
so start your travelling this year after you finish uni.
Yeah.
What would you? How are you gonna? Are you gonna planning to work then? Like work, finish uni, work, save up, and then travel.
Well, I've got a bit of money set aside anyway.
Take
but-
after Ashley and work the corner.
No, I've got a bit of money set aside anyway, but also there's like initiatives and stuff that you can be a part of that basically allows you to work as you're travelling. Like if you wanted to pick up like a random bar job for a shift or two, like there's ways you can just do that through.
Okay.
There's a thing called Workaway, I believe, which I got told about, which is basically that like places. It's kind of like an agency, but places say right, we need a shift here, and then that kind of fills in, and you can go and work there. But again, I need to research it a bit more.
I said something like that to Ashley, but it was for the UK. But then all the jobs were in London, so yeah.
Did you ever consider doing a study abroad semester?
Oh well, yeah, I did.
For your course?
But
Where would you have gone?
that again was in Australia. But the problem with that is that their academic year runs February to November, so it would have meant that I have to take out 2 years of English study to do 1 year there.
Yeah.
So then it gives me like 6 months either side of that to then be doing nothing. And to be fair, my parents didn't talk me out of it, but they kind of laid it out and said, you're not going to, well, after you finish that and you've then been working again for 6 months, you're not then going to want to go back to uni and finish off uni.
Surely you can't take any longer to finally get your GCSEs. I mean, surely.
But no, yeah, I think did I get more GCSEs than you actually? I think I might have done.
I think we need some.
How many did you get? I got 11.
I think I got 11
No, you got
too.
10.
So.
Not forgotten that. How do you measure how many GCSEs you've got? Was it like
how many subjects you took? But he doesn't want to talk about the grades. Coincidentally, it seems.
I got like 5 A stars. 5 A stars. I think. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no. GCSEs, looking back now, seem like the most pointless fucking things all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
What was the point? Anyway.
But no, yeah. So what I was saying is that they're basically.
You're not inspiring our young students.
No. You got to try it. They're gateways. They're gateways to the next level.
Yeah.
But it's. But no. They basically laid out and said that if you do this, you're not going to want to come back. And now being in the position of being in third year, like I think I said to you, maybe I was speaking to my other friends, that like I'm
what?
done.
You got other friends?
I'm done like with academia. I was speaking today actually. Like we just had like a little training session with hockey, and we were just talking about. We weren't even necessarily talking about on topic of uni, but just like I was like, oh, maybe I will do another year because I was just thinking I'm going to miss like just the social side of everything. But then realistically, I can't be asked to do a masters. Like I'm done with academia.
I don't think it's necessarily required for,
it's not.
media
It's
either.
not, but
I'm not sure it's going to make a hell of a lot of difference.
I would do it purely.
Would you not consider going into the more practical side of media?
Nah, I don't find it interesting.
Sort of something similar to what I'm doing. Like, could you not?
I don't find it interesting in doing it myself. Like I think I've said before, like I'm interested in production, but being on the brain of it, not doing the little ratty work like you. I'm joking. No, doing like I don't.
I think Finn wants to skip a few steps there.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, but I don't have an interest in like the.
I know what you mean.
In the camera operating and like doing the editing. Like, I do find it like fascinating in the people that are good at it, but I just don't. There's not a compulsion in me to want to do that. I think I've got more of a creative brain for thinking rather than practical application of media.
Okay.
Like knowing how to work a camera and things.
Well, yeah,
sort of.
Yeah.
No,
I think. But then to be in media, like
you have to know
creative
stuff. Yeah.
Sort of jobs, you have to know the technical side.
Yeah, of course you do. And that's
also,
what I mean. I do know parts of it.
What you're doing, Ashley, is sort of so widely needed now. Like everything needs content to be successful. Whether it's any sort of business, obviously has to create content now, to be successful. So,
well,
it's very important.
That's the thing. It's like when you say that you need to have an understanding. Like, I've got a theoretical understanding of everything, and it's similar to like what it's like in the band. Like when I was saying to you, Ash, when you were interviewing me, is that I kind of just in my role in the band, like I write most of the songs, and then that's kind of it. And I'll just say like, do it like this, or you like just do whatever you want with it to the other guys, and I'll tell you if that's what, or I can adjust that myself, but mostly I just leave it up to them to crack on with it themselves because they're the ones that know what they're doing.
Have you got any goals for the band then? So
global domination, mate.
Maybe a more realistic one for the year.
What do you mean realistic? That is realistic, mate.
Maybe not. Maybe the year it's a bit unrealistic. Maybe 5 years you could be global domination.
We've got to negotiate what happens after uni first, but I don't see. Oh yeah,
I was going to say, have you got like, is there a contingency plan for after uni?
We'll jump that hurdle when we get to it.
Oh, okay.
in 2 months. No, well, I think there's ways around stuff, isn't there?
Yes.
And at the very least, me and Luke live with each other anyway. So if that's all that remains after uni, then we both said each other. Actually, when me and him first like started it out, we both said to each other, like, this is what we want to do. Like, we're committed to. Well, not committed to this, but like
he's fully involved and as committed as you are. Then.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we both said that this, like literally from the start when we first sat down together and we're like, right, let's do this. We both were like, this is literally, I'm not interested in doing anything else. I want to make it through this. And I think
this is the goal.
Yeah, like, we've got good tunes, man. It's just the performance of the singer that could do with some work. But
how are you gonna navigate that then if you take a year out traveling?
Oh, things always come back, bro. No, well, I don't, yeah, that's the thing. That's another thing that we need to think about. But like we shall see. We shall see. Yeah. I don't know.
To be fair, I would like you. I know you said that you're done with academia, and I've got another year at uni already on top of you. But I think, in an ideal, I mean, this is never going to happen because financially it's just impossible for me. But I would very much like to ideally, in an ideal world, go over to America, somewhere like New York, California, and do like a graduate film school.
Oh yeah,
for 2 years or whatever.
Well,
and learn from because over there they're at Liverpool, John was okay. Let me not slag off university on the podcast, but they have top of the.
Oh no! Well, yeah, you were doing California anyway.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, but you could always work for 2 years, save up enough. Obviously, when you go there, then still probably work like a bar job or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
And then fund it yourself.
Well, that was also a little bit of what I was looking at. Not necessarily the grads part of it, but if I wasn't going to go to Australia, I was also looking at America. And looking back on it, I probably could have still gone into that. But a lot of the deterrent for me back then, when I was in first year, looking at it, was the fact that I wouldn't be 21 and I wouldn't be able to drink. Looking now,
yeah,
I wouldn't care. No, but I'm saying now I wouldn't care. I'd go happily and not drink for a year.
Because he turns
or at least leave.
But you still would be drinking, of course.
Oh no, yeah, you would. But as in now, it's not as instilled in me that it's because in first year, especially in a sports society, it's kind of drilled into you. And I don't really see a problem with that. Because it is just part of the culture, and whether you accept that or you don't, that's up to you. But I feel like now it would still, even just going to a different culture, like American culture is so far removed from here. I think it just gives you especially in the education system, it just gives you such a different and broader perspective of everything. It would be beneficial, but I didn't do it, and am I worse off for it? Well, I wouldn't get a lot of the opportunities I've got right now. So,
very true.
All right, so that's everyone's first goal, then, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just about.
I've got. I'll go with my next two. I'll do two and one because they're quite similar. So, I'm gonna try and run a marathon this year.
Oh, bloody hell.
I'll do that with you if you want. I haven't set that out as a specific goal, but that is something I'd like to do, definitely.
Yeah,
but the thing is, I looked into it, all of the big marathons, you have to basically book a year in advance. So it's quite hard to...
So I was actually asked to do it, so there's quite a few people from work doing it. Right. They, I think, looked into it a bit, but they've looked for the one that's latest in the year to give them the most time to train. So the Isle of Wight marathon, so I guess you run around the Isle of Wight. I think it's in October at some point. As far as I know, they think they can book it. So, yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. You're welcome to do it as well.
I will not be joining that.
Down in 3 marathon.
Definitely. The past traumas. I can't do it.
Yeah, so I've started running a little bit. Did 2 5Ks last week, but it's a good start.
It's a good
I need to get back on the grind.
What were your times? What were your times?
30 minutes.
Respectable.
Standard.
Yeah. Obviously, I've done a little bit of research of what you need to do to what sort of training you need to do to do a marathon. I think it was you need to run between 40 and 50 kilometers over 3 to 5 runs a week or something.
That's a lot.
So yeah, a bit off of that, but so that's one of my goals. Originally, they were asking me, and I was like, I do not want to do that. There's 3 plan 3 sort of events: a half marathon, a Tough Mudder, and then a full marathon. And then I was like, I'll just do the Tough Mudder. But then I was like, you know what? If I'm ever going to do a marathon, it's going to be when there's a group of people doing it, and you've got like that competitive nature to want to do it. So, but yeah, you're welcome to join, Ash.
You'll have to let me know, because I would. Yeah, I mean, I haven't trained it. Obviously, I haven't trained it all, but you know,
I don't think any of them have. So we're all going to be.
Yeah. Well, let me know. I would definitely be, if that's a possibility. I'd definitely do that.
Okay.
Definitely,
yeah. I'll speak to the others about adding you to the group chat then.
Sounds.
Yeah.
Tim, would you definitely not consider it?
I'll happily sit that one out, man. Like, no, to be fair, like,
PTSD from that running challenge you did.
No, but I'm getting
overcome that though.
I've defied it. Yeah. No, but I'm getting back into it because I was thinking about doing a run today, and I realised we were doing this. I was like, oh no, what a shame. But I don't know if I said to you, but I accidentally paid for Strava Premium.
Yeah.
55 quid. So I need to. I'm currently lagging behind a little bit on 100 ping of getting my money's worth for that. So I need to get it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I've done 5k so far. But yeah, I need to get back on the grind. So maybe tomorrow.
But if you're running regularly, then why not just do a marathon? Because I feel like if you just run regularly, you'll be able to do a marathon.
Because saw what happened last time. The half.
It's like,
but
do you not,
if you train up,
surely in your life you're going to want to say, "I did a marathon."
Well, and you might. This is the perfect opportunity potentially.
That's why what swayed me. I was like, I was saying, I want to do a marathon at some point, but I don't know if I want to do it now. And then I was like, if there's any time I'm gonna do it, it's now. When I'm 21, got not much. Like, I've got spare time to do it.
I was about to say he's not got a lot going for him at the moment.
Yeah, and then I realised that's not true. But I've got time to do it. As in, like, I don't have a family and kids on me. That's what I was thinking. But
we could even document it for the podcast.
And then I've got like, I think it's about 7 or so people trying to do it as well. So if we're all trying to do it, then you've got that kind of
support network,
motivation. Yeah, support.
You should, mate. If it's possible, I don't see. You might as well give it a go.
Yeah, I think it's a good sort of milestone to hit, and I might as well do it now. I'm going to do it any time.
Crack on.
But yeah, and then my other little one was try and go to the gym 5 days a week.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, I'm trying to go on a
5 days a week
fitness.
is pretty heavy. Okay.
I've been doing pretty well. Like, work interrupts it a bit because like going away for work and whatnot. But I've been going before work and working out. So yeah, they're my kind of. And I then also want to start rowing actually.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
He's on a completely different arc, isn't he?
That's like a proper like rowing's like proper like heavy like demanding, isn't it? You've got to be very fit to row.
So yeah, there's I've spoke to a club, and they do have an open day teaser session, I think they called it, but I'm away when it's on. But I'm going to try and join. But yeah, that's kind of my goals. I'll pass it over to you.
Okay, well, I'll take the second one.
Any other sport goals or anything?
Well, nah, not sports for me at the moment. I mean, one of mine would be I want to get a first in my degree, and I was
going to say
I was on for that, and I possibly could still be on for that, but I did fumble a presentation I gave the other day.
What happened?
Well, I've realised I'm not very good at public speaking.
But you can publicly sing. So
well, yeah, I know it's a weird dynamic. I think I'm just a different person when I'm on the stage. But I was right. So the context behind it was I was giving a presentation to a room full. I say room full of women. There was a room dominated by women, both lecturers and my peers,
students,
and I was giving it on teenage girls' bedroom culture. Which, like, to you guys, I'd be able to explain it quite easily.
That seems like a very... Yeah, that seems like a very, like, strange, like...
Yeah.
That sounds like something from the fucking what's it called? What's the American like prank show? The hidden one.
Impractical Jokers.
What's it called?
Impractical Jokers.
I can't believe I've forgotten this.
It
sounds like something that you do on the yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I did kind of set myself up for it because I volunteered to do that topic.
It sounds like something Jeffrey Epstein research.
The thing is, it is an interesting topic. But when I had my little notebook there, which I'd done like handwritten notes and everything, but I was.
We've lost it.
Yes, I know. I'll
restart.
Continue. So I had my little notebook there with all my handwritten notes and everything, and I had the slides all done, and I had researched into it quite deeply. But when I was doing it, and I just kept like catching eye contact with, and the thing is, I know what I was saying was all right. Well, not all right, but I know it was good. But I looked like the music side of it, and I just ended up just like not really using my notebook and didn't really elaborate on a whole lot, and just kind of went in circles with a few things. But yeah, we'll see. Like at the end, the lecturers seemed relatively
why did you do it on that?
Well, no, because I just thought so. We had like a list of topics that followed the lectures that we were doing, and I'm not going to be. So one of the topics is masculinity. First of all, I'm not going to be around for that week because we are away. And secondly, a lot of my degree, I've done quite a bit on masculinity, and I just wanted to kind of branch away from that. And I just wanted something that would challenge me a bit more, which it did. But then I said at the end to the group, I was like, I feel like I'm a little bit out of my depth here, kind of telling you guys about. So I'll give you like an overview of what it is. It's like it's a subculture which formed around the basis that women have historically been excluded from male subcultures. So like a lot of the music and sport is it is male dominated in its fan base and everything, and the bedroom spaces basically became an area of culture for girls to represent themselves and create their own identities, and basically was a zone for experimentation without any external judgment from men or even just old parents and society.
Okay.
And was, obviously got rid of the whole misogynistic influence of everything. So it is a really first of all important, but also really interesting topic. But I just kind of fumbled it under the pressure.
The thing is, with public speaking, you kind of got to know. The more you know about your subject, the better, or the more you're like comfortable with it. So
I mean, a lot of it comes from just like the not it is a bit of a fear of saying the wrong thing, even though I know I'm not going to say the wrong thing. I'm not going to say anything that's going to offend anybody, but it's just like, well, what if I do? But game's game.
Yeah, no, I struggle with public speaking as well. I've got to get better at it, definitely.
But I even regardless of this mark of the thing, I could still definitely get a first. So that is my goal.
Do you have your mark back for that poll? Do you just think it was a bad, or do you?
Well, yeah. No, okay. I think it was bad. So it could come back all right.
There you go. Then it's not necessarily like.
Yeah, we'll see. But that won't be detrimental to my overall grade either. That's only like I think it might be 15 or 20% of a 15 credit module, so it's not really that much.
Okay.
But essentially, if I get a good first in my dissertation, which I need to get on with writing, which I'm just not really motivated to do at the moment. But if I get a good mark in that, I will most likely get a first. So yeah, we'll see. But that is my goal.
Oh, I got very lucky in a presentation recently. We got like assigned groups, and I got a very good group. And the main guy that was basically running it had like this great. It was like we had a digital marketing module, and this guy's idea. It was like an animation for like short stories. And the lecturer who was
Granddad's on it,
marking the presentation, was like in the room as we were presenting, was nearly in tears by the end of it. So I was like, yes, and it came back and we got like 75 on it. We got a first on it. So I'm like,
decent.
Only I feel like 70.
Got so lucky.
Surely there's got to be 95.
I'll take what you get, mate. But what's one of your one of your aspirations for this year, Ashley?
Oh, I think, going back to Ben's point on fitness would definitely be a goal. Just get in good shape, Been carrying too much lumber, too much timber for too long. Getting a no specific goals like go gym 5 times a week or anything, but just, get into a nice,
I guess I do have a similar one to that in the fact that I'm not actively trying to lose weight, but I am at the same time. Like, it's like since I started, I've lost about 10 kg.
Fucking hell.
Which,
bloody hell.
Yeah. I mean, it's been...
How long? What time span is that in?
Well, really, it started around October last year, and that kind of just happened for one reason or another, and I lost however much then.
Mm-hmm.
And then over this summer, I went on a few holidays, and I don't even know what changed my mindset, but I was just like, I should probably try and lose a bit more. Not that it really matters a whole lot. But I'm just a little bit more conscious of what I'm eating at the moment, and then, I don't have a goal of what I want to get to. It's just kind of, if it happens, it happens, and it is steadily happening. And I feel like I can do a lot more physically than I have been able to for the past couple of years. Now, which is a bonus to it. So we'll see. But I wouldn't necessarily say that's a goal of mine. It's just kind of like in the background, passively ticking away.
Who doesn't want to be in just like decent shape? Good Nick.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I don't necessarily really care about like. Well, I do care what I look like, but in terms of, I don't really care about being like chiseled or like having like a.
Yeah, you haven't got like a specific like you don't want.
Nah, it's just. Yeah.
I think for me, like,
good, Nick.
It's about getting fitter, but then I also would like to get more of a bit of a more toned body. Build a bit of muscle mass. I think.
Mm.
And put a little bit of size on. Lose a little bit of belly as well.
Well, that's the thing, is like I know that as soon as I finish uni, it's kind of like a bit of what I was talking about last time, is that as soon as I finish uni, I will be drinking less. Not that I definitely do still drink a bit too much just from time to time, but I know that as soon as I stop drinking as much alcohol, a lot of it will just come into motion and happen. Like,
I think alcohol doesn't help. Does it?
Alcohol adds, like, you can have the most strict diet, but you go on one night out, you might have 7 pints, which is then 1,500 calories over what you were heading for the day. And I don't believe in calorie count or anything like that, because I don't think it's necessarily helpful. And I think it's more damaging than it is beneficial. But in terms of calorie intake, you can be so strict with your diet and then not lose any weight, or not get to a point because you are just drinking so much, and that's part of the reason that I put on a fair bit of weight beforehand. But
I think once you I think also just doing less sport doesn't help, doesn't it? But
but again,
I'm not too.
We've
got goals. That's
not too
what our goals
fussed.
are for.
Not too fussed about it a lot, but yeah.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.